Jimmy Gait, you are a very inspiring man because through your experience of cyberbullying, you've not only managed to rise above it, but you've also managed to inspire other people and empower them through your foundation, which is Hisia, which actually your slogan is Kabla Uklik, Fikiria. I know for a lot of guys, again, having the both of you here as the poster children for cyberbullying, they're like, but they're famous. Yeah, they shouldn't care. I mean, that's what they do. They do that for a living. So anything I say to you, I can say it. Who told you to choose to be famous? That's probably where a lot of the guys who are bullying you are coming from. What would you say to them?
People think that we that are in the public domain are not human, you know, and they forget that it's like they put us in a box that these guys are this and that. They don't have feelings. They deserve this, they deserve that. But we are human. I cry, I get sad, I get happy, I get hurt. You know, I'm just as human as anyone else. So when sometimes I see those posts, especially the first time when I was cyberbullied, it was really, really hard for me. I remember I released a cover of Adele's song, Hello. So I posted it on YouTube, 8 p.m. in the evening. Asubuhi 6 a.m. Larry Madonna anipigia simu, Jimmy, you guy, I really need you in my interview. You know the way he talks. Jimmy, you guy, you're trending, man. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Your song is trending everywhere. I want to be the first one to interview you. Okay, so I went on Twitter and checked on what people were saying, and manze nilipata nimepashwa kupashwa.
Because previously, you were the hit maker. Anything you did was a hit. Yeah, positive, love.
So it was like from there to here.
Right.
I had never received hate when I released a song. So this time around, it was different. And for a minute, I could not believe what was happening.
Right.
And I scrolled through Twitter. Manzi hazikuwa zinaisha. Na scroll. And the worst thing about it is that it was just hate. It was just hate and hate and hate. You're a gospel artist, mbona uimbe sijui ngoma ya secular, you know, and so much and so much. And for 2 weeks, manze, nikajifungia kwa nyumba. I didn't want anything.
So you didn't even end up going for the interview you were invited for?
The good thing is that the interview was 2 weeks after. Hiyo wiki yote nimetrend, my friend. Nilikuwa na trend number 1 to 3 the whole week. As in niliangalia trending, there were 65,000 tweets, yeah, of Jimmy Gait. Yani ilikuwa ni Uhunye, Raila, Jimmy Gait. But then ilikuwa famous, Buddha.
Can I ask, was anybody in this room tweeting about Jimmy Gait? Naona kuna watu wale wana smile. Okay.
But lakini naona kuna mokorino wewe haukufanya, si ndio? Huko sawa.
And I think, DK, probably because you're also an artist and your experiences of cyberbullying are very different.
Yeah.
Because with Jimmy's, it actually affected his music and his career. For you, it didn't get that far.
No, it didn't.
And I think, Jimmy, let's talk about how it affected your music and your career. Because obviously, you're a man, you're human, you feel.
Yeah, first of all, it affected me as a person because for 2 weeks I was depressed. I was in the house, I couldn't get out of the house. Because this is what cyberbullying does. It makes you feel like the whole world is against you. It makes you feel like everybody knows what's going on. So even me getting out of the gate was a problem. I thought that my neighbors out there would know that this guy is trending and everybody is hating on him. So I confined myself in the house. I couldn't even eat because I didn't have appetite. So it affected me personally because this was the first time it happened to me. And remember, I'm a public figure. So like he said, what about that person who's not a public figure, who's going through a lot of issues? And let me tell you the other reason why it affected me is because I was going through a whole lot of things at that particular moment. I had put in a lot of money into a business, done a partnership with some friends. They let me down. They never contributed their share of the money. And so I lost a lot of money in millions. And I had crushed financially.
So music was your lifeline?
I was literally down financially.
Yeah.
And then here comes the trolling. First of all, hiyo time yenye nilikuwa karibu niko cyberbullied, I was going through a very serious phase financially to a point where I was auctioned and I lost everything. So I'm in that phase during that time. So you can imagine, I don't have money. I don't have a house,
Yeah.
right? I don't have anything, and I'm struggling.
But the one thing that you had was
Right.
your brand, Jimmy Gait.
Jimmy Gait,
And of course,
right?
banking on the fact that because I've done this music thing, I'll put something out, I know it's going to be a hit, I'm going to get positive feedback.
Exactly.
And then even that crashes.
That crushes even more, and it crushed me seriously. And I was depressed. And let me tell you something. When I was in that period, a week before I was being cyberbullied, I was about to sign a deal to be a brand ambassador of a very big brand. I was getting paid a lot of millions. Remember, I don't have money. I don't know. You're with me, right?
Yeah.
Sina do, nimesota. Alafu nimepata hii company inataka kunichukua kama brand ambassador. Alafu boom, nakuwa cyberbullied. Company inasema, hey, this controversy. So they pulled me aside and took another person on my behalf. Imagine it was you.
Because they don't want to be associated with you now because of the negativity coming at your way, because of the people making fun of you.
Yes, and that affected me even more. You see, it's always funny when you share those memes. It's always fun, you know, until it's you. Until it's you. That's when you realize this thing kumira kwanga mbaya hivyo.
Again, I think, let me ask you a decade, because I'm sure you've come across certain memes of yourself on social media. What would you say to those meme creators?
I think you cannot go scot-free. Your day is coming as well, but in a different dimension.
So let me ask, because sometimes you'll find some of this bullying is actually coming from people that you know, from companies. Has any of you taken legal action, followed it up, from a lawsuit point of view? Jimmy?
First of all, I couldn't even think about that at that time because I didn't have the money. So going legal was not an option. I had to hide with my family. My family was there for me. And you see, here's the thing, and this is what I keep telling people nowadays. Live your life. Be you. Don't live for the people. Because when you're down, nobody wants you. Nobody wants to be associated with you until you're up again. So don't care so much about what people say, what people think about you, oh, you don't look this, you don't look that. Let me tell you something. Don't let anybody become your benchmark on where you want to be or who you want to be.
Okay, right. On that note, remember you can join the conversation via the hashtag #RealTalk with Temima. Tonight we are spotlighting cyberbullying. Have you been a victim? Is this an issue that you're dealing with? Stay tuned to the show. We're going to be talking more about Jimmy's organization, Hisia, whose motto is Kabla Uklik Fikiria. Don't go too far. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Real Talk. Tonight we're getting real on cyberbullying, an issue that without a doubt a lot of young people are facing today in Kenya. And earlier on I was talking to Jimmy Gait, who was sharing with us his experience. So Jimmy, you basically shared with us how you went from being top-selling artist, booking gigs, to now being the butt of jokes on social media, losing an endorsement, and you mentioned that at that time you were depressed. So for how long were you depressed for, and how were you able to literally get yourself out of that depression?
I decided to apply my greatest asset in my life. My greatest asset in my life is my positive attitude. That's what I give to the people. By the way, I'm called to give hope to people, and I believe that some of the experiences I go through or have gone through are not to crush me, but to help me feel what others would be feeling, so I'm able to tell them, you know what, you can make it or make it, no matter what you're going through. Right?
So basically, your life is meant to be a positive example to people.
Yes.
So all these painful experiences, you've been
right.
able to put them and actually transform them into something even more powerful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, one of the things I did when I was down financially is I refused to go back to the village. I said, I'm not going back to the village, I'm not giving up, I'm not quitting. So here's what I did. I had a business idea, because I love doing business, I'm an entrepreneur. So for 3 months, I did a presentation of that business to 59 different potential investors. And all of them, 59, did not come through for me. They did not support me. They did not give me the investment I was looking for. And the 60th one is the one that gave me the breakthrough.
So all you had to do was hang in there, believe in yourself, keep going.
Yes.
After number 10, after number 15,
Yes.
25, 40, keep going.
You gotta keep trying.
Yeah.
And this is one of the two quotes that were driving me through that whole period. One, no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard it gets, I will not give up. I say that every morning to myself. And then another one is keep moving. And chances are that you're going to stumble on something when you least expect it. For I have never seen somebody stumble on something while seated down. So I said, I'm going to keep moving. Even if it's so hard, I'll keep presenting. If I'm told not today, I'll try again tomorrow. And I did that for 59 times. The 60th time, I got millions into my bank account.
Let's talk about now, back to the music, because we know that that period also affected you musically.
Yeah.
Because you're creative. You have to be in the right headspace to create
Correct.
some of these things.
Correct.
So how are you able then to get your game back on?
Mi ni ule menda kufangi. Hata useme nini saa hii. I have learned to be strong. I have learned that it's not about what people say about you that matters. It's not what they think about you that matters. It's not what they have in their minds about you that matters. It's what God says about you and what you say about yourself and what you believe that matters.
Jimmy, let me ask you. I can confidently say that I kind of feel like what you went through was humbling for you.
It was.
And how has it made you look at fame now?
I've learned a lot of lessons from that. One is that you can be down and work towards going up and make it. It's possible. But it's also possible for you to be up there and come down. But it's also possible to be up there, come down, but then go up again. Okay? So, and this is what I tell people nowadays. Have you ever had this thing? You know, opportunity comes once in a lifetime. Have you heard that saying? You guys? Let me tell you, that's a lie from hell. Opportunities come every day.
Yeah.
God is not a God of one chance. God is a God of another chance. If you miss this one, there's another one coming tomorrow. So that's why I keep telling people, don't give up. And you see, when people threw a lot of stones to me on social media, I said, you know what? All those stones that you threw at me, I piled them somewhere, and I'm going to use them to build a mansion for myself. Right?
And this mansion that you're talking about is the Hisia project.
This is the mansion I'm talking about. Hisia. Hisia is a movement that is bringing together digital stakeholders and all the users in the digital space so we can create a movement that will address the issue of cyberbullying because it affects a lot of people. It breaks down a lot of businesses. Children are suffering because of cyberbullying. Mothers and fathers are going down. Marriages are being broken because of cyberbullying. And so one of the greatest things I have derived from my experience is this vision. And I thank God that so far, so many people have benefited from this movement. If you're a victim of cyberbullying, you can actually call 116 for free and get free counseling. So that's something that we're doing, and a lot of people are getting help from that.
And I think I'll just repeat that number, 116 you
116.
said. So if it's something that
Yeah.
you're dealing with, feel free, call that number like Jimmy has said. It's a
Right.
toll-free number,
Yes.
no charges. There's going to be somebody on the other end who can talk to you. Looking at, you know, an artist of your caliber, you had to be the victim of cyberbullying so that now you can empower other people as well who are
Correct.
going through cyberbullying.
Correct. It's always fun until it's you. So when it came to me, then I was like, whoa. Kumbe even if you want to usikia. So nowadays, I tell people, kabla uklik fikiria. Because you never know what you could do to that person you're sharing about. Imagine, case scenario, I was going through a hard time, and then I was being bullied. Advantage, I'm a strong person. I was able to drive through it and go through it. Someone else is not as strong as I am. Someone else is going through issues. Aliachwa na boyfriend, aliachwa na girlfriend, akona issues home, they lost a job, their house was locked, and then you tweet that tweet that will make that person say, you know what? I feel like the whole world is against me. Life, enough is enough. And they commit suicide. And a lot of people who commit suicide actually don't commit suicide because of being cyberbullied. No.
Yeah.
Cyberbullying is usually the last thing that happens to them that triggers them to commit suicide.
So there are deeper mental issues at play here. Things like
Exactly.
self-confidence, depression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stress.
Yeah.
You know, stress is bad.
Yeah.
Depression is so bad. Depression is one of the worst diseases or sickness you can ever have.